What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. Is it just me, or are the New England Patriots having a really damn good offseason? What do you think of the moves that they've made in this offseason? Because they've got quite a few really nice signings that I was really happy to see, and I think they shored up their defense a lot. And I want to talk about these moves because they're making some moves here to give Drake May a chance in year two, which he looked pretty good in year one. So I like him. But first off, getting Mike Vrabel as your coach, obviously the ties run deep in New England, but he's just a damn good coach. He's very good in Tennessee, and then when that core just slowly faded out and management made bad decisions, he kind of went down with the fire. I think he's going to be really good in New England. I don't worry about him at all as a coach. I think he's really good situationally and is going to be just fine in New England. But the moves they've made, and there's quite a few like stellar moves in my opinion. First and foremost, getting Milton Williams from the Eagles. He was excellent. He was damn good as a D tackle last year. He's playing next to Jalen Carter. He's going to go play next to Christian Barmore. A lot of people don't know how good Christian Barmore is, but they'll see. They'll see. Milton Williams is really damn good. That's an excellent signing. I think it was like 4 years, $104 million. Big move. They didn't have a lot of pass rush. They were kind of getting gashed in the run too. He's a good addition. I think adding Carlton Davis, who's an excellent man-to-man cover corner, is going to fit perfectly because Vrabel's going to want to play in your face. And Carlton Davis does an excellent job at that. And he's 3 years, $60 million. You didn't go over, $25 million for a cornerback one. I think that was an excellent deal. He shores up that back end a little bit so they're not giving up as many gashes. And so right away from the beginning of free agency, you shored up the interior and you shored up the back end. Thought those were great moves. And then in the middle, you bring in Robert Spillane from the Raiders, who dude just has a nose for the ball, constantly makes plays. Raiders fans were just devastated when they found out they weren't going to be able to keep him. So at all three levels of the defense, you've made additions. And I think that alone is like it's an A-level grade for what they've done. We could also talk about the Harold Landry signing. Might have been a little bit of an overpay because he hasn't played like what he was back in like 2021, 2022. But the Titans also have not been the same Titans over those last couple of years. So maybe a new situation gets him going back to being that elite pass rusher. I think it's still there. He's only 28. I think we're going to see a bounce back year out of him in this scheme. So I'm excited to see how that unfolds, because him, Milton, Barmore, Spillane, and your front seven is a pretty nasty front. So I like that. And then on the offensive side of the ball, you might be saying, well, Drake May still doesn't have any weapons. And to be honest, I agree. I don't think they have any real weapons on offense right now. But they did make a nice move in bringing in Morgan Moses to be their right tackle. I think it was like 3 years, $24 million. It's a very serviceable tackle. That's good to just get some talent on that offensive line. And obviously they still have a hole at left tackle and they still have holes at receiver. You brought in Mac Hollins, who I think is a solid wide receiver 3, maybe wide receiver 4 at the worst. I think like he can catch some touchdowns, catch a deep ball here and there. He's a decent player. He's not a game breaker or anything like that, but it's a good under the radar signing for your franchise QB and Drake May. Now, just because you spent all this money on defense and you added a little bit to the O-line and you brought in a wide receiver 3 or 4, you still do have the weaknesses at left tackle and as wide receiver 1. They still have to figure that out. But the good news is they're picking very early in the draft. And there's a couple different ways I could see them going because they pick 4th. All 3 teams ahead of them need a quarterback. The Browns need a quarterback, the Titans need a quarterback, and the Giants need a quarterback. All of them. They're not leaving that draft without a quarterback. So maybe Travis Hunter falls to 4, and you get somebody that I personally think is better at corner, but can also play really damn good at receiver. Maybe that helps spark some energy into your team. Or maybe you go Ted McMillan, the receiver from Arizona, and you just go with that. The big, I think he's like 6'5". He's got pretty good speed, really good hands, good body control. And then you shore up your wide receiver 1 doing it that way. You could do that all day long, and it makes sense. I don't know if they go O-line that early, but I think if you do go, I think playmaker is more of a need, my personal opinion. And if you do that, then you pick, I think, at 38 in the second round, and you could get a solid left tackle. Or if you do go lineman at top 4, you could go, there's probably going to be some receivers that are available later in the draft. But ultimately, if nobody's getting open, just because you block for days doesn't mean anything good is going to happen. So I think they should go receiver first and foremost with that 4th pick, and then go get your lineman, your left tackle in the 2nd round. And the good news is that they have 2 upper half of the round in the 3rd round picks. I think they have pick like 69 and 77 or something like that. They should be able to acquire more talent that way as well. So they've got some pretty good draft capital coming in that I think is going to be kind of to shore up some of those other concerns that fans may have. But the defense looks so much better, on paper at least, than it did before. Their coaching, we know, is going to be better. They've got a real good thing that's kind of turning the corner here, and they spent a good amount of their money to do it. And I do think that they're going to be set up pretty well to, maybe not contending this year, but maybe if things go right, next year could be a year that they could be seen as like a real legitimate dangerous threat. Right now you're in the very beginning of a rebuild, but these pieces are all pretty much young guys that should come in, be able to make plays right away, and they should be more competitive this year, and they should win some more games this year as a result. I'm excited for it. I'll be more excited if they go receiver early in the draft, and I would totally understand protecting your franchise quarterback with a tackle, but I think I can't see where they pass up on a receiver at 4. But ultimately, this free agency class, man, is nice. Like you walked away with the best D tackle in Milton Williams. You got the best corner in Carlton Davis. You got a solid linebacker in Spillane. You got somebody that like Harold Landry that could bounce back, and I think he still had like 8 or 9 sacks last year. Still get some rush on the QB from him. Morgan Moses as a lineman is very serviceable. Contract's fair. I like the moves. I like the moves so far. I'm very interested to see how this draft turns out for them, because that's going to be what really brings some juice to this team. Because if you leave the draft with Travis Hunter or Tet McMillan, I think you're thinking, hell yeah, going into this year. Drake May, year 2. We got a bunch of ballers on defense. They could be fun this year. They could be a lot of fun this year. And I think they've done a great job in free agency. Let me know in the comments what you think of their moves this offseason. I think they've been really damn good. Smart moves. I don't see a whole lot of overpays like certain franchises have done. But I like it. I'm a big fan. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you like this kind of content. Please like the video. Appreciate you for watching. Shout out to Patriots. I think this offseason, that defense has went from like a D- defense to like a B- defense at worst. I like what I'm seeing. So, that's all. I'm done. Peace.